Hello, I'm Claire, and if you don't already know, I read a lot. So I guess you could say that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the literary side of things. As a teenager, I often find myself browsing through and reading books aimed specifically for teens, also called YA fiction. However, recently these books have failed to attract me or hold my interest. This is caused by loads of factors, but perhaps the main issue I have is with the overuse of tropes and cliches, particularly in novels meant for girls. These tropes often cause books to feel repetitive and bland, as if I'm reading the same ones over and over with ever so slightly different jacket art. But maybe I should back up. What exactly are tropes? Merriam-Webster said it best, and this is a direct quote, guys. A common or overused theme or device, see cliché. Okay, so to make that sound a bit less like it was spewed from a dictionary, which, again, it was, a trope is something, anything. It could be a setting, a theme, a character trait, an idea, in literature or movies or anything else with a plot, that is used a lot, often too much so. For example, recently books have employed excessive use of flowery language, metaphors, similes, personification, and the like, all to appeal to the teenage demographic. One specific example of a book utilizing this would be Jandy Nelson's I'll Give You the Sun, a popular book that I thought I would like, but found out 50 pages in that I wouldn't. That book was returned to the library within a week. It also featured another recent trope, the use of multiple narrators. This is extremely common, and although it may have been used before this next example, the first place I encountered it was in Rick Riordan's The Kane Chronicles in 5th grade. Rick Riordan's books are all typically great, and perhaps The Kane Chronicles began the recent rise in the use of this literary device. Now, to show you the full scope of tropes, I'll make a little fake book, outline entirely out of tropes. Here goes.
It's the distant dystopian future, and our main character is a fierce, strong-willed girl who doesn't care much about the government until she takes some life-determining test, gets some sort of special result, and is, in turn, separated from her family. She joins a resistance group, and through solving some problem they had, gains their trust and becomes well-known. She also somehow manages to get into a love triangle with an important roguish guy from the resistance, and a soft-spoken guy from the government, who are both extremely hot, extremely infatuated with her, and extremely jealous of each other. There are, of course, 3 books, and when it is made into a movie, the 3rd book is split into 2 movies for more money, and the main character is played by a Kristen Stewart look-alike. I could go on and on with this, as anyone who watched older drafts of this would know, but the long and short of it is that teen fiction lovers would squeal and buy the book months in advance, despite it being $40 to pre-order. I'm sure you recognize most all of the tropes listed, as they are perhaps the most common in recent years.
Okay, time for an abrupt shift in topic, because it's late. You can sympathize with that, right? You're high schoolers too. I know I'm not the only one working overtime to get this done. On to cliches. What is the difference between a cliche and a trope? What it comes down to is that tropes are a more specialized form of a cliche. A cliche is often a saying or a phrase, such as, the grass is always greener on the other side. It can be a trope, but is more often unrelated. A cliche in a movie or a book would be something like, the guy always gets the girl. Another difference is that tropes are often fleeting. They go in and out of style, whereas cliches tend to stick around. Okay, so now that I've gone over that, why does this even matter to me? I guess I've already said this, but I read a lot. I see these tropes littered in novels all the time, and they just really get my goat. I could tell you some made-up spew about how tropes have shaped my life and made me realize things about society, but that would just sound canned and stiff. Is there any great moral of the story to this? No, not really. Tropes are just my own pet peeve.